Here we go. Hey guys, welcome back to Pro Row 784. This is my first race in over 3 years on this Can-Am Renegade 850 here, and I'm going to try to do a little bit of narration for you here, sort of let you know sort of what went on and how the race unfolded and that kind of stuff. Nothing really spectacular. Don't get excited. This is not Brandon. This is me. Okay, so I had a great time, and you guys will see this here. So I'm going to try to get started here. I'm going to narrate a little bit of it, and it's about a 50-minute video of footage that we've gotten, but I'm going to probably narrow it down some. But didn't get a very good start here. There was, I think, 11 or 12 on the row here, and I think I got like a 7th place start. I was ready, but I wasn't ready, if that makes any sense. But anyway, as you can see here, it's a little bit dusty in just these general areas here. A bunch of these guys here that I race with, they're all about my age here, and we all have a great time. But as you can see here, watch this right here. This is the very first lap, right? Okay, so there was a bunch of dirt bikes that ran this morning, and this is obviously the first quad group, but you can watch. This is Michael Parks that I'm following here, and a really good handling, quad and a great rider here. But my goodness, you can see how deep the massive holes are, and this is only the first lap here. So, but basically, this particular morning, that we get one round of practice, and it was smooth as glass. It was unreal. The track was free flowing, fast, and then we get this here. So anyway, wasn't really prepared for it. As you can see here, the first little bit of the track here, mile or two here, it's pretty much a freight train, and you can see how rough it is. But you can see these double greens, these little posts. In Florida Trail Riders, we have what we call double greens. It's basically a green arrow, and there's one placed on either side of the course. You have to go through those. Those are designed to keep the people all within a designated area, because most of the places that we race at, we don't have a large piece of property, so the clubs try to utilize as much as they can of the property, and sometimes we end up with a lot of double greens, which this first little section here had a lot of those. So I think I'm in 6th, here. But as you can see, I mean, we're all pretty much together, just having a freight train together. And of course it's the track conducive, obviously. You see how rough it is. So we're all pretty much running together. That was a little jump there they put in there, and of course these things don't like to jump very well. But anyway, and then we got a couple more tables coming up here, and of course none of us do that. Obviously, you can see we roll all of it. Now the second and third lap, I did 3 laps here. The second and third lap, we air it out a little bit. Obviously there's nobody in front of us, but pretty much had a great time. Michael. I follow Michael up through here. We got some passes coming up here in just a little bit. I'll show you. But the property itself was absolutely wonderful. As you can see, big, massive oak trees, dry. The cleaning up afterwards wasn't very bad. Obviously, there was barely a little bit of mud. There was one little place that had a little bit of mud in. Here's another little table here. This table right here was really fun. Obviously, there's people in front of you couldn't jump, but during the race, it was really, really fun. But there's coming up here, we're getting ready to go through a gate and into the pasture, and man, we letting these renegades just ride out. I mean, we're running through the woods pretty good right here. This is a little bit smoother section here, but there's a long sweeping corner coming up here. I think Michael gets around. This is Derek Tremaine here that Michael's getting ready to pass here. Derek is I don't know if you guys remember, he was the head mechanic for Taylor Kaiser back at Balance Racing some years ago, and he is currently now Jason Lyons' crew chief and mechanic and all that. He rides just every now and then. This is just as Jason's one of his old 4-wheelers here, or one of his older 4-wheelers that he ran like last year. But anyway, good dude. But he was a Yamaha mechanic on the GNCC circuit for a while. But as you see here, I did very well right here. I squared him up right there. The quad really turned very good. This straightaway right here, oh my goodness, I bet I was hitting 60, 65 down here. And then there's a sharp left-hand turn right here coming up. And I locked those DP brakes down, dude, and it turned. And as you can see, I turned and got to the left of all this whooped out area, really choppy, really bad. And then we're coming up here on a little bit of wet area. It's just damp, it's no mud. Tons and tons of lines. As you can see, the orange arrows, we're allowed to go 25 foot either side of those, and there's a little section right in here, tons and tons of lines. Of course, I don't pick the very greatest line on the first lap, but anyway, Michael does a good job. I think he gets by Wayne. So this is Wayne Mossberg here on the quad here to the left, another good friend of ours, been racing forever. But anyway, Michael got by him through one of those lines there. So here Wayne and I drag race here, but there's a double green coming up, so you got to go between those. And then we get into a little tight section here. Watch this right here. This is so whooped out and choppy. And then so Wayne gets a good drive off here. There's another corner coming up right here that I bust out really wide, thinking that it's a little quicker, but it wasn't. You see Wayne how much he beats him right there. But then this left-hander coming up right here, I drive in there really deep, use my stock car moves. I drive in there really deep, and he heard me over there, and I think Wayne backed off and let me go here. But that was really fun because the quad was really turning really good. I told Brandon, I said, I haven't rode a ATV in some time, but it just reacted and did everything that it was supposed to do. All right, so right now I'm in fourth place. Jason Lyons is gone. Michael Parks just passed. This is Brandon Laudermilk right in front of me here. He looks back and he sees me. He lets me by here in a second here. He had some clutch issues. His clutch was slipping and some other stuff. I think he made a couple laps or something like that. But he looks over and sees me. Now, this particular guy right here is one of Brandon's biggest fans. He's always texting me and calling me and asking how Brandon's doing, this, that, and the other. Listen, good people. He's got a little son that's going to be a pro racer one day, I promise you. But we go back into some of this fast area right here. There's a little damp area right here, and you'd have to really set this up right. You see I'm over here on the grass trying to grab traction here, but really fast. A lot of brake whoops right here, tons and tons of brake whoops, but the quad soaked it all up and turned really good. And I looked over to the left and I saw Jason Lyons, which is the leader of our group. He probably was only maybe 15 seconds in front of Michael and I. Michael's in front of me. I'm running third at this point in the race here. But yeah, Jason was probably 10 or 15 seconds in front of us. There's this big right-hander right here. Now coming up here, I get right on the bumper of Michael. There's this next right, and then he starts pointing at the four-wheeler, and he told me, or Wayne told me after the race, that he was having some issues with the bike skipping. So I ended up passing him right here. But watch him, he'll point to his quad. So, and I heard the bike stuttering a little bit. So I get to the outside of him. Of course, he lets me go. So now I'm in second, and I'm like, and I was flabbergasted. I'm running good. Now, this is a problem though, because I haven't raced in 3 years, and my darn arms. It was kind of weird. It wasn't like, I guess it was arm pump, but it wasn't to where I lost grip of the handlebars. Just my forearms were so darn tight, and I think, obviously, trying to hang on to the quad. Now there's a kicker coming up right here, almost in these woods. Oh my goodness, right in there. I just missed it there somewhere, but ooh boy, it would throw you over the handlebars if you weren't careful. But yeah, so I never really lost grip of the handlebars, but what was happening was my forearms were really tight, almost like I was doing like lifting weight and doing curls or something with your wrist. And so basically I just had to back it down a little bit. Okay, it wasn't to where I was out of control, that kind of stuff, but as you can see here, the track is really whooped out. There's already berms laid up from the dirt bikes earlier today, and But there again, there's a lot of double greens coming up here. You see the double greens on those two trees there, those two. So basically, they're just trying to keep us all within the course here. This is a rider that starts in front of us here. He lets me by here. I square him up right here and drive to the inside here. But you see all the double greens and that kind of stuff, such. So that's what caused basically the track just to really deteriorate. And we all understand the reason why, but But there's a left. Oh, this is another section right here. This straightaway right here, I asked Brandon about it. He said that this was really bad for him too. There was some whoops really bad right there, and you had to really be on top of your toes, because it would really try to throw you over the handlebars right there. Also, there's all these basically brake whoops. Was when you come into the corner, we're all grabbing the brake, and it just starts rolling up the sand, and it creates little whoops, like what we call brake whoops. So really got to have the shock set up for that on the low speed and high speed of on the compression of the shocks. It really helps out a lot. Brandon really works on that a lot, but I'm not a good enough rider to be able to understand most of all that. I understand it, but I just can't. I don't really know what I'm looking for. But we go back out here to the pasture here. Really nice wood flow that went through there. But then we come back out here to pasture. You see the double greens again. I'm out here and I square up all these corners here and try to stay out of ruts and that kind of stuff, and I actually do really good. Now Michael Parks is right on my tail end right now. Okay, I'm in second. Jason, I never saw him anymore besides that last little bit before here, but I looked out through the pasture here and I never seen him. So he must have put some time on us, or maybe I just, of course you guys know my vision's not the best, so he may have been up there, but Michael Parks is right on my butt right here. This is a really bad little section right there too, going over across that little cattle gate there. But then we get into the woods here. This is another rider in front of me here, and we end up catching him in a bad spot, through this. It gets a little bit tighter in this area here. I made some bad line choices here. I just didn't see there's a line there to the left there. I totally blew that and missed that, just didn't see it. And by the time I got to it, I was already committed, but I didn't get past, so Michael may or may not have seen it either. I don't know, but this little section right here gets a little bit gnarly and tight. You'll see coming up here. Yeah, there he is. He hits that, and I obviously go through it too like a big dummy, and hit both of my tires against the trees there, trying to get through that. But all right, coming up right here, what you're going to see is so we had what they call an easy hard on the track, and basically the easy goes to the left, but it's a little further around. The hard goes to the right. Right here, you'll see it split. You see the big hill on the right? I chose to go to the easy. I look back right here, Michael went the hard. Okay? And this is about 20 seconds, 20-25 seconds is what we're thinking. But as soon as I make a right here, you look back to the right, you'll see that big mound of dirt right in front of me. You see it right there, right in front of me? Michael is already on top of that and gone, and that's the last I seen of him. So it cost me quite a bit of time by not doing that. So now I obviously, and you see they're still making us go around. So I'll tell you where the track connects back, right? You'll see some right there, and Michael's already gone. I don't see him anymore after that. So poor decision on my part, but then again, I didn't feel comfortable doing it. I did it in the practice lap, and it was sketchier and all get out. So I was able to do it. I'm on a 4x4 quad. I was able to climb it, but it had like two big hills, and the second one was scary to me. Okay, I asked Brandon about it. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Dad. But to me, it was scary. And I didn't want to take a chance at all of trying to induce myself to get hurt. Okay, I haven't ridden a quad in some time, and my arms were still pumped up a little bit, and I just didn't want to do it. I told myself I'm not going to do it. So it cost me. We get by. This is John Boy here. He lets us by. Really thanking for that there. I'm not sure who the rider is here in front of me there, but I follow him for some time. He's moving along pretty good here. Somebody blew the tape down, of course. Then that pole right there, you see the double green laying on the ground. So somebody ran over that post earlier also. But anyway, yeah, I just didn't feel like that. I wanted to chance the hard, and it really cost me. So every single lap I did the easy, and Jason and Michael Parks did that every lap. They did the hard, and I think I lost 20-25 seconds per lap just by doing that. So, but listen, I had a good time, and I didn't roll back and flip and that kind of stuff. So that's what it's about, right? So I just didn't want to chance that. So, We get into this little section coming up right here. Now this is a pine section here, and it's a 1-lane deal, and this gets really whooped out and really bad. This, if you guys, some of you guys have raced like the hog waller. Now this track here is quite a ways from that. This is probably 3, 4, 5 hours from hog waller, but you can see we got the palmettos. But then we get in this pine section where there's rows of pines, and right here, oh my goodness, the video doesn't do it justice, but the whoops were unbelievable. They were so gnarly, and if you hit them wrong, it would throw you against one of those pine trees and of course in your day. But so here you just had to follow and get in line and just do the best you could. But a little bit of open section right here, and then so you can see the rider move a wave there. I think it was a girl rider there. I think that was a girl, I think. This guy he looks over and sees me and lets me by, which he was running a pretty good pace, wasn't really holding me up. There again, by this time I'm just hanging on, but I feel like I do several good corners out in this area, and then we go back in that darn pine section again. But you see all the pines in front of us here. See that? Look at that. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. So, but of course, you know, there's no double greens in there, so we can go wherever you want to, but there's only one line that's fast, is straight through the darn thing. So, but anyway, it all works out pretty good. I never crashed, and the quad actually, you know, rode pretty well. You know, never did try to jump out from underneath me, or it didn't try to flop around, like do weird stuff. So I felt pretty comfortable on the quad itself. There again, you know, I'm not sure that I was up to speed. This is I think this is James Benton. I'm coming up here. This guy right here does so much for FTR. He's actually the youth coordinator, or the Pee-wee, we call him Pee-wee coordinator. He looks over and he lets me by here, but great dude. But he does a lot for our series. Yeah, that was James there. Good dude. There again, always keeping up with Brandon and myself, and he saw me on the starting line and didn't realize that I was racing. I hadn't raced in over 3 years. He gave me the biggest hug. I thought he was my wife or something. You know what I mean? Just so excited to see me racing. Just could not believe that I was racing. And so anyway, we hugged each other. But I appreciate everything that James does for the series, for sure. He's got some kids that are really fast too. His one boy races with Brandon in a AA class on a YFZ 450. But they probably, well, I know that they was probably in FTR before I started FTR, like in 06. I think they probably started quite a few years earlier than that. But his son and Brandon's always pretty much raced together, as they're about the same age. But here we go. We get out of that pine section here and we get back into some little bit flat running here. You see the track's bermed up a little bit, which is really nice. Whenever the track does get whooped out, it does get bermed up, so you can lay against a berm. But you can still see the double greens here. But you see that nice berm right there. I mean, it gets whooped out there, but to be fast, you've got to lay against that and basically rail it, is what Brandon calls it. So he calls it railing. So you got to get out there and sort of let the outside tires rail that outside berm and get the inside tires up out of the whooped out area and just sort of ride two wheels, sort of berm it, is what he calls it. But passing some more riders here. Now there's a little hole right here. Look at this, right, boom, right there. I bottom out the front end so hard right there. I absolutely thought that the front bumper hit the dirt. I mean, the video didn't really show it. I asked Brandon about the same thing, and he said that he did that the same the first lap. So he said, Dad, I think I about died right there. So, but anyway, the next it gets real gnarly right here. You see how tight it gets here. But anyway, so the next couple laps, what I did when I come up to that little section there, I backed out of the throttle a little bit, and then right before you got to it, it's almost like I bunny hopped it and I jumped down into the bottom. That's a good dude there I just passed there. That's Mr. Rao. He puts out some good videos of the races. He always YouTubes. This is Dan Aiken in front of us here. He's one of the guys that run the AMA thing, that sign up and that kind of stuff. Really cool dude for FTR. But as you can see, they're all good dudes. They all, if another rider comes up behind them, they let you right by. And which is really important for the amateur series. And this is the way the amateur series in Florida Trail Riders, a bunch of dang good people, okay? So no buttholes and that kind of stuff. We're all just out here having a good time, and win, lose, or draw, we're all out here to have a good time. And so when a faster rider catches you, you just pull over and let them go. There's no sense in us holding them up. So, but anyway, yeah, this section right here it's a little bit muddy. You see the little bit of moisture in the ground. There's a couple of other little spots right here, but there's you see the little dot on the top of the camera there. I'm not sure where I got that, or not sure if I was behind someone or what, but got that little dot there. But it's dry, obviously, in this area here. But there's a couple of places like that little place that I told you that I dropped down into and felt like the whole front end bottomed out, which it probably did. It was just a little damp. It wasn't water, but it was just damp. So you get down there, and if you was behind somebody, you'd get sprayed with like, soft mud, and you'd have to pull your goggles and clean the lens off. And then the track slows down up here. Obviously, you start seeing it get a little bit heavy with little trees. Those little trees right there, if you tag one of those jokers, those things will throw you over the handlebars. So you got to really be careful. I mean, they do not move. That was a nice little tree there that we had to go up under. You had to lean your head down a little bit. I'd never tagged my head against it, but it did appear that if you didn't duck a little bit, you'd probably hit it. So, but that was pretty cool. They added that into the track here. But yeah, these little saplings, these little oak tree things here, those jokers don't move. So, like right in this area here, there's another little section coming up right here that you had to really be careful. And trying to relax my arms a little bit, because my arms are still pumped up a little bit, obviously. And I told Brandon I don't think it was my grip so much, because I wasn't really gripping hard. I honestly don't. Probably just because I haven't ridden, but they was just tight. Like, it had me on the edge. If that makes any sense, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Typically, when I've gotten arm pump in the past, it's like, hell, you can't hang on to the handlebars. You just can't. But this one, like that. This little section right here is gnarly too. It got a little bit damp down in there. It got really ruddy, and that was a little soft section there that, wasn't going to get stuck. But you had to be really careful when you jumped off in it. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know whether Brandon just, obviously he said probably just because it's from not riding, and I'm sure that's what it is. But I thought I did very well with what I did. I decided to do this race on Thursday. Now this is Saturday during the race here, and okay, so here we're coming up. So we're coming up to this is the finish of the first lap. I was a minute and 3 seconds behind those guys in front of me, and I'm in third. You'll see my pit area right here to the left. Look at this. These guys are cheering me on. I just went by them there. But anyway, I appreciate all their help and that kind of stuff. But anyway, I ended up all right, so listen here. I've been talking 23 minutes. I'm probably gonna chop some of this up, because obviously now you'll see the track starts getting now the start's back to the left of us here. Okay, so now I've completed a lap, and this is obviously on the second lap here. Okay, but you'll see how the track just changed drastically and got extremely more rough. So anyway, Brandon did 4 laps on this track with no power steering this day, and I did 3 laps. So Hunter Hart won the race, and then Brandon ran second overall. And so anyway, I finished third. Okay, so Jason Lyons won, Michael Parks was second, and those guys, I finished 2 minutes and 15 seconds, I think, behind them at the end. And it was about an hour, a little over an hour and 10 minutes, something like that. I can't remember exact time that we raced here, but I was losing tons of time on that darn easy hard crap. And looking back, maybe I should have did it. But listen, I'm here to be able to talk to you guys, and I'm not hurt, so maybe that's more important. But I ended up third, and haven't raced in 3 years. This is the track that I got in a really bad accident during practice, and and put me out for about 4 months and that kind of stuff. So I was happy to go back to it and basically feel accomplished. And basically, I didn't, I don't know. I don't feel like I conquered it, okay? But it just made me feel good to go back to the place that about took my life from me about 3 years ago. So anyway, I felt good. I never felt out of control. I never felt dangerously, that kind of stuff. Oh, I felt good. I mean, honestly, I felt great after the race. And my arms I'm starting to side my arms at this point here. I'm just trying to relax a little bit. And so here's that table. See here? So I'm a little bit quicker now. So they're a little bit more fun. See that? So I'm not airing it out, okay? but it was a little bit more fun because I wasn't behind someone and afraid of crashing into them and that kind of stuff. So I was able to hit them a little bit harder, and they were easy. They were just tables, but it was just fun to hit it, just get a little bit of air or whatever. But anyway, I ended up running third, and I think I ended up 21st overall out of 100 and some. Here's another little table here. This is pretty fun right here. Had a crowd out there. Everybody's watching because, Brandon and Hunter Hart, they were airing it out and clearing the darn thing and all that stuff. But so anyway, they got some good pictures, and people were excited to see that happening. But no, not for me. I'll give you a little bit of air. I'll get my tires off the ground, but that's about it. So I'll let those other guys have a good time with doing all that. But yeah, a little over 100 or so riders. I finished 21st overall, which, hey, I'll take that. It's a situation where I had tons and tons of fun, and I'm probably going to do it again. Probably not. There's only 3 more rounds of Florida Trail Riders left, and all 3 of those races land on GNCCs. So, the same date. So, for sure, I won't be there at any more of the races this season because of, obviously, we're, supporting Brandon and trying to get him going, that kind of stuff. Okay, so but maybe next season I'll try to ride a little bit, to be honest with you. I just need to ride a little bit just so maybe my arms don't pump up and all. Here's that long straightaway right here. I guarantee you we were hitting 75 or 80 right through here. We were rolling, and then it comes into a tight left-hander, but you see the quad turn, and I was able to get right back in the throttle here. So but I'll probably do a few races next season, maybe as time allows with Brandon. The way the Florida Trail Riders season starts is usually they start like in late August, September area, and then they end up in like May. Like this year it'd be like May or something like that. So we race in the winter time, where sort of that's our season starts in one year, ends the following year, where GNCC starts. What are we talking, end of February now and ends in October. So they do overlap each other, some races. But yeah, I had a great time. I think I'm going to end up probably trying to do some more and trying to run some more of the races maybe next year. This is the 850. This is one of our oldest quads that we have here, but this thing's in great shape. Everything on it has been replaced at some point and got low hours. I just put a new transmission in it. Oh, there we go. I wiped the camera for the first time. I get after Brandon for not doing that, and here I rolled up the first time I did that. So I don't tell Brandon that. But yeah, but we try to, all of our ATVs are in tip-top shape. We got 6 of these. Our Brandon has 6 of them, and so we try to keep them in tip-top shape. Anything that needs addressed on them, we address it immediately. Axles, whatever it needs. I got one at the shop right now. I know you guys are waiting on me to put out a video of it, be putting the engine in, but we've got a quad there that I'm getting ready to put a brand new engine in. And just try to keep everything freshened up. This one here has a brand new transmission. Well, actually, this one here, we broke the shaft in the transmission. It's got this, the 850 has the smaller transmission in them, and the 1000 has a little bit bigger, that kind of stuff. But so anyway, we Brandon, well, actually, I broke a shaft in one. We bought a used transmission, and then Brandon broke a shaft in one. Now, this is a brand new OEM one that we got from Robert at BNR. And it's, of course, you know, don't have many hours on it, but anyway, that's what's in this quad here. But it's got all the good stuff on it. So anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is if I do decide to race, it'll more than likely be on this quad here. We was trying to sell it at some point, and probably still would if somebody's interested in it. But if somebody doesn't, you see this little wet area here, right here. That was a fun little area. But those brake whoops on the other side now, those things got a little gnarly. But this little section right here was really fast, really fun. You could lay in there. Reminds me of my stock car days. Just drive off in there really deep and get it turned, and you know, make sure it don't slip, but keep the traction down. And this was really fun. But yeah, I'm not, you know, I think I'd sell a bike or two, but it's not imperative, you know, because every one of the quads are in really good shape. And I feel like that, you know, for Brandon, I could have him, or if he wanted, he could race any of our quads that we have and be competitive on it. So I just don't want to, you know, there's going to come a time where he's all done racing and all that. Now we'll sell every damn thing. I mean, but right now I'm probably going to hang on to some of the stuff and just keep it for spares and backups and that kind of stuff, because Brandon practices and that kind of stuff. But this quad here hasn't been started in God knows how long. 3-4 months probably. It's been sitting over in the corner of the shop there, and when I decided on Thursday to ride it, I'm like, I went over there and it fired right up and charged the battery, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this thing's ready to ride out. So here's this little section right here coming up that I was telling you about, that whoop area. It'll throw right there. Whew, man. Even Brandon said that he hit it the first lap and about threw him into the tree, but because that was a really bad brake whoop right there. So all right, guys, listen, I've talked long enough here. Obviously, as you can tell here, I love talking and love just talking about the race here. But this was a fun race. I thought I was competitive for what I had going on here, and I'm really happy. And most of all, man, did I have a great time. Okay, just getting on the ATV and pressing the throttle, having all 4 tires turn, and makes you feel like you're in a drag car or something. You know what I mean? These things got so much horsepower. Had such a great time, and not only that, get to hot rod the ATV, and that's what it's about. You're on the edge all the time and trying to get it to go as fast as you could possibly get it to go in and out of the corners, and that's what I dig about it. Okay, really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna let it go here another probably 3 or 4 minutes. I don't want this crazy to be long, and then I'm probably gonna cut you guys off. But it did not get the entire video, but I did run third in the race, 2 minutes 15 seconds behind the guys in front of me. They finished 1-2 together. I think they finished a second apart. Okay, third was another couple minutes behind me. That was Wayne Mossbrook, and I think Derek finished behind him, and I finished 21st overall. So you won't get to see the finish and all that kind of stuff. But listen, I was happy to give you guys a race report. Instead of being Brandon's race report, this is Chuck's race report. So I was actually excited to be able to hand you guys that. That'd be the first one I think I've ever did. So hopefully I'll be able to do some more of these and get to talk to you guys as always. So appreciate you guys dropping by, and gonna have some more content. I've got Brandon's video. I'm gonna try to post a little bit of that coming up here in the next day or so, and we're ready for Camp Coker. So getting Camp Coker, South Carolina for GNCC for Brandon this weekend. Hopefully we can put together a good finish and come out on the top, and we'll be blessed for sure. So as always, guys, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys watching our videos. Take care.